disappear. So crows disappeared next moment. So it is a contingent definite description. All right?
Yes, sir.
So one type. Second one, who is John in a party? The person who is having champagne in his glass. Glass is there, but champagne is not there. Water is there. He is drinking water. So partly true, partly false. And then you can sit here and your wife can sit there. Your wife is not related to her, but everybody understood who has been referred to. So it is totally false of the person.
Yes.
So all of them are referential. So Tatastha Lakkhana is something, as I pointed out in my paper. All of you can read my paper called The Advaita Vedanta on Meaning. It is published in the Vedanta, this volume, Vedanta
Concept and
Yes, sir.
application.
Concepts and Application.
By
That is
Ramakrishna Mission.
by Ramakrishna Mission. I organized the conference and then it was published. I edited this volume also. Here I have mentioned when Brahman is described as Satchit Ananda, Satchidananda. Sat, it is truth, it is real, it exists. Chit, it is of the nature of
It is conscious
And third one, Ananda.
bliss,
Now,
delight.
I am claiming that it is a Tatastha Lokkhana. In the technical language of the Advaita Vedanta, they are called Tatastha Lokkhana. Since Sat, Chit and Ananda are neither universal nor properties of Brahman, the meaning of the word Brahman cannot be explained in the way the meaning of the general term has been explained. So they are used to signify something.
As indicators.
Indicator. So Tatastha Lakkhana is indicator, although all of them are false of Brahman. Brahman cannot be characterized by any word. All right, all of you, because they are universals and there is no dharma-dharmi distinction in Brahman. All right?
Yes, sir.
And I have discussed
Yes,
at
sir.
length here that Brahman is not neither a singular term or a definite description. Hence, the meaning of Brahman is suggestive. Okay? So, suggestive meaning I have mentioned there.
So this is your original interpretation, isn't it? They
That's
applying
right.
This.
That's right. Original means that these things
That
metaphysical expressions, religious expressions have meaning. They are not meaningless. Have meaning, but they signify certain ideals.
Yes.
Because Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, different sections are there. If one is
Yes.
true, then the others will be false. Nyaya view,
Yes.
Mimamsa view, Buddhist view, there are, at least 10 to 20 views. But if one of them is true, then others will be false. But there is no
Yes.
method of deciding. So there is no verification. So there is no verification from this. Viennese circle concluded that they are meaningless. But I am concluding that they are meaningful. They signify some ideals. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So
Now,
it will be useful to harmonize different point of view to
a different point of view, some of them are more useful than others. We can say they are more useful. Advaita Vedanta is more useful than others because Advaita Vedanta is for all. It is for the welfare of all, not Advaita. Now, Niti raised the question, Jahat Lakkhana, Ajahat Lakkhana, and Jahat Ajahat Lakkhana. That is a different topic. It is not related to all these. Jahat Lakkhana, Gangayam Ghosha is a case of Jahat Lakkhana. The village is on the Ganges. The primary sense of the term Ganga is abandoned, and the secondary meaning, the bank of the river Ganges, is taken. So primary meaning is abandoned, secondary meaning is taken. That is called Jahat Lakkhana.
God Lakshana.
And Ajahat Lakkhana, in all such cases, the secondary sense includes the primary sense also. Secondary and primary sense, both of them are included.
Both are taken.
For example, Kunta Pravishanti, the lances enter. The word Kunta indicates through Lakkhana, the lances, and also the men who carry them. So the sentence Chatrino Yanti, people with umbrella are going, indicates through Lakshana a group consisting of some with others without
Umbrella.
umbrellas. With umbrella, without umbrella. And
Oh, both of them. Yes, both of
Kunta
them.
means secondary meaning, primary meaning. Both of them are included. And in the case of Jahat, Ajahat, Lakkhana, beside these two varieties of Lakshana, the Vedantins accept a third variety called Jahat, Ajahat, Lakkhana. In cases where only a part of or an aspect of the primary meaning is preserved, while the rest is rejected. Only an aspect of primary meaning is preserved. And they explain in terms of this many other things. Okay, so this is part of the things we mentioned before. Now, Kripke's view, he has mentioned or emphasized the initial baptism. One point, initial baptism. Then second point is that he has emphasized the causal chain or the subsequent users of a name who form the community of speakers of a particular name. So, causal chain, initial baptism, then causal chain. This point emphasizes the social aspect of the use of a name, the identity of intention of the speakers. I heard the name Feynman in a marketplace. Feynman is a physicist. So I intend to refer to the intention of the person from whom I have picked up this name. And it goes back and back. Now, I am claiming if these conditions are fulfilled, then the name or the user of a name can refer to the person or the object which was baptized initially by a particular person. If there is a change in the intention of the speakers, then of course it does not refer to that person. And he has given an example, Santa Claus. Santa Claus originally names a saint, but later on it does
Became
not
something
name
else.
the same saint. The name Santa Claus, according to speakers, then we get like Santa Claus. The name Santa Claus, according to Kripke, was originally used to refer to a certain saint. Since there was some change in the intention of subsequent speakers, this name is used by the children does not refer to that saint. Okay? So Santa Claus, does not refer to that saint by the children. Now I am raising some objections against Kripke. Now let us discuss the objections Kripke has raised against the sense theory of Frege, whether they are valid objections. Whether Kripke's causal chain theory can be considered as a substitute for Frege's sense theory of proper names. Why I am raising these objections against Kripke? Because the naive philosophers accept sense. Most of the naive philosophers accept sense. Sakkata avachedaka or pravitti nimitta in their term. From our discussion of Frege, it follows that he has used the word sense in different senses. That is why I have used 6 senses of the word sense in Frege. If we take some of the uses of the word sense, then we cannot claim that according to Frege, the sense of a proper name is always expressible by a definite description. In other words, it cannot be said that being expressible by a definite description is a necessary condition for having sense. All right? Everybody understood? Since the sense of a name is a mode of presentation, it might not always be expressible by a definite description. It is a mode of presentation. So it may not be always expressible by a definite description. When the sense is adequate for determining the referent of a name, it is expressible by definite description. It explains what happens when one uses a name or one understands a name. But Kripke has emphasized only the social or the historical aspect of the use of a name. So according to Frege, the user of a name refers to an object via its sense, while according to Kripke, a name refers to an object via the causal chain and the identity of the intention of the speaker. So this is the difference between them. According to Frege, sometimes a sense can be expressed by a definite description, sometimes by an indefinite description. I am claiming that according to Frege, sometimes by a definite description, sometimes by an indefinite description, because it is a mode of presentation. So that mode may be adequate, unique, and sometimes it is not unique. The sense of the name Feynman might sometimes be expressed by the term a famous physicist. Hence, this example of Kripke does not constitute a counterexample to Frege or a refutation of Frege's theory of sense. The sense expressed by a famous physicist is not adequate for determining or recognizing the referent of a name. But this cannot establish the thesis that an indeterminate sense is not a sense at all. An indeterminate sense which is expressed by an indefinite description might be considered as an incomplete sense of a name. From some remarks of Frege, one can develop three different types of sense of a name, which can be known by the user of a name. I have developed these three types of sense of a name. One is called incomplete sense. An incomplete sense of a name is expressible by an indefinite description, and it is not sufficient for determining the referent uniquely. But you cannot say that it is not a sense. Okay? This
So
point.
can we have any example of this incomplete sense before moving to the partial,
Yeah.
complete, and semi-complete?
Yes, for example, I heard who is Feynman? He is a famous physicist. So I
Okay.
got the sense of Feynman, but it is indeterminate. It is partially it is incomplete sense. So uniquely, I cannot pick up Feynman, but from this, it does not follow that it is not a sense. It is an incomplete sense, indeterminate sense, but it is nonetheless a sense, but not uniquely designating an object. So partially complete sense, this is my coinage. This type of sense would be sufficient for a particular user of a name to identify the referent of a particular in a particular world or possible world. Hence, it can be expressed by definite description. The author of Waverley picks out Scott. The author of Gitanjali will pick out Tagore in this world. But in another world, it may not be sufficient to pick out. So, definite description is used uniquely in a particular world to pick out an object. Semi-complete sense, I am claiming. This type of sense would give us a necessary and sufficient condition for the identity of the referent in all possible worlds. The epistemic counterpart of an essential and a unique property of the referent would be a sense of this type. If we can cognize an object under the mode of an essential and the unique property, then we can identify it in any possible world where it exists. The epistemic counterpart of Kripke's description of an object in terms of its structural property would be a sense of this type. Structural property. For example, gold is the metal with the atomic number 79. Structural property, which is unique to gold in all possible worlds. If it is a structural property, then it is a semi-complete sense, I am claiming, because Frege himself has said the term complete sense, according to Frege, is reserved for all possible modes of presentation of an object. But a finite human being cannot grasp all possible modes of presentation of an object. Frege has admitted this point in the following passage. A complete knowledge of the nominatum would require that we could tell immediately in the case of any given sense whether it belongs to the nominatum. This we shall never be able to do. So he has mentioned complete sense, and I have developed another 3 types of sense. So it is an extension of Frege, because I need sense to interpret the Naya philosophers.
Sir, but as Frege is suggesting about complete sense, it seems like we can never understand anything in its complete sense, because we can never
No,
be,
complete sense means, what is the meaning of complete sense?
which is reserved
You
for
have
all
grasped
possible modes of
complete sense
presentation.
means, given any sense, we can say whether it belongs to this nominatum or not. But we cannot do that, because we require omniscience. Omniscience, knowledge of everything.
Yeah,
Then,
that's the same thing.
and then only we can point out. Is it clear to Niti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was thinking the same, because it requires omniscience in one way to have the complete sense.
Yes, complete sense means you have grasped the complete sense means, given any sense, you can point out whether it belongs to a particular
The
nominatum.
nominator. Yeah, true, sir.
So even a finite object, to get complete sense, we need omniscience, isn't it?
That's right. So we are not omniscient, so we do not have complete sense. But
Yeah,
what we
same
have,
thing, sir.
I am claiming incomplete sense, partially incomplete sense, and semi-complete sense. That means gold is a metal. Gold is the metal which we like, and The gold is liked by human beings. Definite description. Gold is a metal. The indefinite description. And semi-complete sense, gold has the atomic number. Metal, gold is a metal which has the atomic number 79.
Sir, এটা
So,
আরেকবার রিপিট করুন এই গোলটার এক্সাম্পল
gold is a metal.
Yes.
That is incomplete sense.
Incomplete. Okay. Second, sir.
Gold is liked by human beings. That which is liked by human beings is gold. Okay? Let us suppose, that everybody likes the gold. So in this world, it is true.
Yes.
But
There can be many worlds, in fact.
many worlds where human beings do not like gold. They like diamond.
Yes.
Or something else. But this, if I give the definition in terms of structural property, gold, what is gold? The metal with the atomic number 79. Then it is true in every world where gold exists. So the term complete sense is reserved for all possible modes of presentation of an object.
So in this
If
case,
we-
the last example, sir, say basically it means that laws of physics, but you are pointing out that even
Yes.
that laws of
Yes.
physics is also not complete, means in the sense
Now-
it cannot be
Now,
omniscient.
Kripke and others scientists that they believe in discovery of the structural properties, so that we can distinguish one property from another, or one metal from another. Some people claim that scientific truths are approximation to truth, but not fully truth.
Yes.
Some people claim. But here we are supposing that it is true in every possible world.
Possible one. Yes.
Structural property. And here I have given the reference also 42. If we try to understand Frege's theory in the light of different senses of the word sense, and in the light of different types of sense, then some of the remarks or counterexamples of Kripke are false or wide of the mark. I have used two expressions. Either it is false or wide of the mark. Means his criticisms are not valid. A name, a referential definite description, which is satisfied by an object, would express a partial sense of a name. Referential definite description, which satisfied by an object, would express partial sense of a name. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Who is Aristotle? The teacher of uh,
Alexander.
the teacher of Alexander the Great. In this world, it satisfies, Aristotle satisfies this description. So it is partially complete. Kripke's example, Feynman was a famous physicist, does not constitute a counterexample to Frege's theory of sense. It simply shows that the mode of presentation of Feynman is an incomplete sense. Secondly, Kripke's method of fixing the referent of a name in terms of referential definite description does not constitute a counterexample to Frege's theory of sense. A referential definite description which is satisfied by an object would express a partial sense of a name. Okay, so I have mentioned incomplete sense, partially complete sense, and semi-complete sense. So Kripke is thinking that incomplete sense is not a proper sense. But I am claiming that in Frege, incomplete sense is also a sense. A referential definite description which is satisfied by an object would express a partial sense of a name. Moreover, Frege has admitted a fluctuation in the sense of a name depending on the context and the speaker, as well as the cognitive value of this fluctuation. And I have quoted Frege. In the case of genuinely proper names like Aristotle, opinions as regards their sense may diverge. As such may be suggested, Plato's disciple, the teacher of Alexander the Great, whoever accepts this sense will interpret the meaning of the statement Aristotle was born in Stagira differently from one who interpreted the sense of Aristotle as the Stagirite teacher of Alexander the Great. As long as the nominatum remains the same, these fluctuations in sense are tolerable. So, fluctuations in sense is there. From this remark of Frege, it follows that the cognitive value or the meaning of a sentence depends on how we fix the referent of a name. So far as ordinary language is concerned, Frege has admitted different ways of fixing the referent of a name. In ordinary language, different ways of fixing the names are there. But in artificial language, this has been avoided. In artificial language, there is one way of describing.
The artificial language example would be
In a demonstrative science, according to Frege,
Like
this
symbolic
fluctuation
logic or
should be
mathematics.
avoided.
symbolic
But in a
logic,
perfect
mathematics.
language, there should not be this
Computer
type of
language.
fluctuation in the sense of a proper name. In an artificial language, you have proper definition of the terms, unique definition of terms in all possible worlds. For example, in Euclidean mathematics, a triangle has 3
Angles.
angles, and 3 angles will be equal to 180 degrees.
180 degree.
So a triangle is fixed, which has got 3 angles. What is triangle in Euclidean mathematics? Which has got 3 angles. A figure, the figure which has 3 angles. Okay? So this is artificial language. Hence the different senses of the name Aristotle, which is part of the ordinary language, are used to fix the referent of it. In this world, the referent of the name Aristotle can be fixed either in terms of the disciple of Plato or in terms of the teacher of Alexander the Great or the Stagirite teacher of Alexander the Great. I am claiming. In this world, 3 definite descriptions are used for Aristotle. Who is Aristotle? The teacher of Alexander the Great. The disciple, the most famous disciple of Plato. And the teacher and the Stagirite teacher of Alexander the Great. He was born in Stagira. So Stagirite teacher of Alexander the Great. Thirdly, if the referent of a name is fixed in terms of structural property, which is an essential and unique property of an object, then also it does not constitute a counterexample to Frege. The mode of presentation which determines the referent in all possible worlds would be an epistemic counterpart of an essential and unique property of the referent. I am claiming epistemic counterpart. Property belongs to an object, but sense, you cannot say belongs to an object. Sense is the counterpart of the property, and we apprehend the sense. Sense is not an object. Sense is a mode of presentation. All right? A definite description of this type would be a rigid designator according to Kripke. And the mode of presentation of this type would be semi-complete sense of Frege. Fourthly, the causal or the historical explanation theory of proper names cannot be taken either as a substitute for Frege's theory of sense or as falsifying condition for Frege's theory of proper names. I am claiming that Kripke's theory cannot be taken as a substitute for Frege's theory of sense. Frege is mainly concerned with the question what happens at the level of understanding when we understand a sentence in which a proper name occurs. So he is concerned with understanding epistemic question. All right? Epistemic question.
Yes, sir.
How a user of a name can identify the referent of a name. He has also concern with the question, what constitutes the knowing of a language? He said, the sense of a proper name is grasped by everyone who knows the language. If you know the language, then you can grasp the sense. What is called knowing the language? So he is concerned with epistemic conditions. Sense is an epistemic condition. What happens to your understanding when you hear the name Aristotle? Kripke, on the other hand, is concerned with the question how a name actually linked with its referent. So they are not talking at the same floor. How the name is linked to baptism. So there are two separate views.
Kripke would be ontological sense. Is it?
It is a socio-economic, social condition.
Socio-political conditioning.
uh, it is a sociological conditions. His answer in terms of causal or historical explanation is not concerned with the epistemic questions of Frege. So Kripke is concerned with the question how a name is linked up with its referent, and not with the question how a user can identify the referent of a proper name. So according to Kripke, since a proper name is a rigid designator, its reference to the same object in every possible world, even if a user of it cannot identify the referent in any possible world. He claims you do not have to identify, but a name, proper name, refers to the same object in all possible worlds. So he is not concerned with identity of the object, how we can identify. Is it clear to everybody? Since Kripke and Frege are concerned with different questions, Kripke's theory cannot be claimed to be a substitute for Frege's sense theory, which is an epistemic theory of proper names, I am claiming. So one cannot substitute another. Kripke is concerned with how we go back to the initial baptism. But Frege is concerned with what happens at the level of your understanding when you understand a name. Fifthly, Kripke, in his causal theory of names, emphasizes the importance of the identity of intention of the users, which serves as the cement or the link in the causal chain. I am claiming that identity condition is like a cement. Intention of the speaker, same intention of the speaker. According to him, the receiver of a name must intend to use it with the same reference as the person from whom he has received the name. This raises the question whether we know the intention of our previous users of a name. Do you know the intention of the previous users of a name? We cannot say. Kripke's theory can only work if we had a complete history of all the names used in our language. And we could also determine the identity of the intention of different users of the name. If we have complete history of the name, then it can work. Or identity of the intention of the speaker. Who knows, like Santa Claus? Santa Claus. It has been interpolated. How do we find out that it is the same intention? We do not have the complete history of names. We do not have complete intention of the speakers. So it can work if we have complete history. As we do not have such a history of proper names, his view does not seem to be a plausible theory of names. I am claiming the most big claim that it cannot be said to be a possible theory. First of all, I claim it cannot be a substitute for Frege's theory because they are concerned with two different things. Secondly, I am claiming that it cannot be a plausible theory because we do not have complete history of the names and the intentions behind it. Who knows, like Santa Claus, so many names have been included. Moreover, since there is no history of all the names used in our language, sometimes we do not know whether such and such a person existed. In the case of Santa Claus, intentions differ, and strong claim is, who knows that such and such person existed even.
Means the original Saint Santa Claus, you mean, or the
Original saint, in the case of
or
Santa
the
Claus, it referred to it referred to a saint, but later on it does not refer to the same saint.
Yes,
but
sir. Even that.
I am making a stronger claim even that we do not know whether such and such person existed. When in Ramayana and Mahabharata, all the
Yes.
names are there, we do
Yes.
not know whether such and such person existed.
Yes. In general, there will be tendency to treat them as fairy tale, but
That's right. That's right. Which one is the real name? Which one is,
which one is
you know,
historical and which one is mythological?
interpolated name? We do not know.
Yes.
Because there is no complete history.
Yes.
So from these criticisms of Kripke, one should not conclude that we are not in favor of emphasizing the social aspect of the use of a name. Social aspect is all right, he is emphasizing. I am simply pointing out certain difficulties if this theory of Kripke is taken as a substitute for Frege's theory of names, or if it is taken as the most satisfactory explanation of what most of us do. So if it is taken as a substitute, then we disagree. And if it is taken as the most satisfactory explanation, then also we disagree.
Yes,
It
sir.
is,
I was
it
thinking
is
that
neither a substitute for Frege's theory nor a
a negative falsification.
most plausible theory of names.
Yes. You have put the radical claim in a very short sentence inside the paragraph.
It seems to me that
may
a
not
satisfactory, yes,
may not be noticed by everybody unless you
yes, that's right.
meticulously read.
Yes, you have to read every line you have to read.
I
So
was
it
thinking, sir,
seems
in
to me,
today's context, sorry, sir. Yes,
yes,
today's context of identity conflict and cultural conflict, and even in case of historiography, this method would be first of all your three division of senses and naming. That would be very helpful to differentiate different
that's right.
levels of different levels of evidence, and here also you can see that there is a reason for reviving the Frege-like approach with Frege /
That's right.
Naiyāyika approach to
I have reconstructed Frege
yes.
because for the Naya philosophers, sense is required. It seems to me that a satisfactory theory of proper names would emphasize both the epistemic and the social aspects of different uses of a proper name in our ordinary language. In the next section, we shall see that the Naya view emphasizes both the name-giving ceremony and the intentional aspect of Kripke's theory and the sense theory of Frege. The Naya theory emphasizes the name-giving ceremony as well as the intentional aspect of Kripke's theory, same intention, and the sense theory of Frege.
Yes, sir.
So now
we can start the
I'd like to
approach next Sunday, sir, or you want to carry on?
it is not this Sunday, but the next Sunday. This
Yes.
Sunday is 28th, I think. This Sunday is 28th April. And the next Sunday is 27th April.
27th April, yes.
27th April, at what time? 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock Indian time.
Yes.
Yes, sir. On Sunday, it's 11 o'clock is fine for us.
So everybody is free on Sunday at 11 o'clock, or you want 12 o'clock?
Sir, 11 is okay.
11 is
okay,
all right.
Yes, sir.
Yes.